Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Backlog Banter. I am Tucker Hazel, joined by my superstar co-host, Abram Biener, and today we're here to talk about superstars, specifically Mario Party variety of superstars. Because this game released, we have played a good amount of it, and we're here to give you our thoughts and Abram's maybe contemptuous, controversial thoughts on this game. But if you want to talk to us about this controversy about Mario Party, maybe play Mario Party with us, join our Discord, link is in the description. And we also have a subscribe button and a like button down there, which you would love to do. You'd love to click on them because I know you. We've been friends forever and we've got that sort of connection. But Abram, share with me your opening thoughts on Mario Party Superstars.
I don't think this game is very good.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. You can close the video. It's done. He's got his thoughts out of the way.
So I actually have already reviewed this game. I reviewed it at RetroWare and I gave it a 6 out of 10. I think this game is a lot of fun, but I think the actual package is pretty hollow. That's my 40,000 foot summation of my thoughts on this game.
You're up there looking down at your thoughts. Like, can I see him? I don't know. It's kind of unclear.
Looking through my telescope.
I'm on a pretty similar page. I think I'm a little more positive than you on this package because it is ostensibly my first real experience with Mario Party. Before this, I had played maybe half a round of 8, maybe half a round of 10. That's a rare memory in the back of my mind. I have no idea. And a couple rounds of Super, but I never got a chance to really dig into it. I played it in party scenarios a handful of times. This was my first time sort of thinking about Mario Party in more of a substantial way because I was very set in my ways that I was not a Mario Party fan. This is not for me. I do not care. But I wanted to give it a shot, and I've been using the Switch to sort of get into new series, Metroid, Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem, whatever. I wanted to add this to the list and give this a try, especially because it was getting such good reviews. But as I was digging into it and sort of playing each board and seeing the amount of mini games and trying to dabble in the side content, which is, as we'll get to, pretty light, I realized that this is a good game, and I think that for Mario Party fans, I understand why they are enjoying it so much. But as sort of an outsider to the Mario Party franchise, I can see why I never really got into it, and I'm not sure if I really feel the draw to try older games, try future games. Of course, I'm a big fucking nerd, and I'll probably play them at some point in my life. But this game didn't really sell me on the Mario Party formula.
Yeah, it didn't sell me either because I think it lacks a central identity. I think that the branding superstars and the kind of marketing of the game was that we were going to return to Mario Party's past, and it's going to be sort of a celebration of the series. But ultimately, that's not really what it is because we've got 5 boards. They're all for Mario Parties 1 through 3. But the mini games are for Mario Party 1 to 10.
Yes.
And so we're put in this weird position where we're kind of celebrating the series past, but we're doing it in a really content light way. I think that is really the heart of the issue because you can play Mario Party, you can play the mini games, but you can't do a whole lot past that.
Yeah.
And I think I probably could have excused that if this was a much more content-rich celebration where we're playing through boards from the entire series. We're bringing really iconic side modes from the GameCube games back, right? But instead, we just have 5 N64 boards and this amalgamation of mini games. And as the cynical motherfucker I am, it just really reads like a stopgap game because I don't think that this is actually celebrating anything. It just seems like, okay, we needed to have a Mario Party or something because Super Mario Party 2 is not ready yet. So let's capitalize upon nostalgia, but not really in a way that speaks to people who don't have that nostalgia. Because ultimately, what do I really care that these are 5 N64 boards when they're not really that complex and they're not really doing a whole lot to service sort of a celebration of what is one of Nintendo's longest running multiplayer series.
Yeah, and as of Super Mario Party, one of their highest selling series. That game is up there with all the big Switch titles, selling constantly, and it's yet to be seen, but this one will probably track below that, but still more than most games sell ever. I think my biggest problem with it, though, is similar to you, is looking at this as one of the big releases of this holiday season for Nintendo, and so them positioning it as returning to the classics, getting back to the roots that Mario Party fans, externally, I've been looking into the Mario Party series and people have just been whining fucking constantly since I became cognizant of Mario Party series. With every game's got its problems. None of them are as good as they used to be. A lot of boomer whining about, oh, back in the day, Mario Party used to be great. And as someone playing this and getting the chance to look back on what those games were, I'm underwhelmed by the boards and the content from it, because it does just feel pretty bare bones. And then looking at it as I want it to be a huge celebration of all the past Mario Party games, and it really is just a sort of side note of that. It's a chunk of that, just like the start of that celebration. When you go into a game and you're looking at, oh, this really flimsy roster of characters. Oh, this is a really small selection of boards. The side content is impossibly superfluous. There's really no side modes to talk about, even though Mario Party, as I've been doing my research, is a series known for experimenting with those side modes. It really just feels like they were trying to get out a Mario Party game and were capitalizing on nostalgia, but not doing it in a way that feels like it's bringing the series forward at all.
Yeah, I think, well, to that point, I think that the biggest success of this game is the online, and I do think that pushes the series forward.
Yes, I should have mentioned that, and I think that's the thing that we're going to harp on this game most for positively, is it is a modern game in certain respects. This is the best Nintendo online multiplayer has seemingly ever worked.
Totally.
I played most of my experience of this game online. I had a few instances of slowdown. I was playing, I was doing one of the side modes on Mount mini games with a bunch of random people online, and I was getting really bad slowdown. But that was really the only instance of that. So I don't know if it was me laying in my bed that was causing it, or who the fuck knows. But the online is phenomenal.
The online is phenomenal. It is the reason, I think, to buy this game if you're interested.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a series, this is not a new thought, but that needed online for so long. So having it here, it almost is like, do I even praise this game for having online when it's so late? But what I think we can praise is the actual infrastructure is really strong.
Yeah.
And it's not just, I was under the impression it was friends only, but there is full random matchmaking. There is really seamless support for if somebody drops out and they just throw a bot right in there. It is uncharacteristic online multiplayer for a Nintendo game.
Yes.
So I think beyond a shadow of a doubt, that deserves praise.
100%.
But that's kind of the only aspect of the game that I praise. Because
there's two other things I praise.
Okay.
Let's just get those out of the way, because we're going to spend a lot more time whining about this game and digging deeper into what we started with, which is, I think this game is one of the best looking Mario games ever.
Okay, yes. No, I agree with that.
The boards are incredibly detailed. I will stand by, these are the best Mario character models we've ever gotten. You look at Mario doing his little bounces, he's got these rosy ass cheeks, and you're just looking at him like, wow, holy crap. This is like, this is where I want Mario to go in terms of this like nice glow to the characters, and there's a softness to everything, and I'm like, oh, I just want to reach out and squish his little cheeks. But I do wish that there was more variety for those amazing visuals to be plastered on top of, because it is, you see everything in your first few hours with the game, because it's 5 boards, 8 characters. Though I haven't played all the mini games. The mini games all look great, but the visuals I think are certainly worth praise.
No, you're totally right. I completely forgot. I actually mentioned that in my review. I think this is perhaps one of the best looking Nintendo published games on Switch. It is,
which by extension ever.
Yeah. I mean, it's all so curated, and you see such particular angles that they can eke out a lot more visual fidelity because the game is so scripted. But because of that, it is beautiful, and the art direction here I think is really strong too. I think that the board theming is great. I think the boards are really interesting. Like you play Super Mario Party, and what you end up with is a lot of really basic riffs on these ideas, but even when you have something basic like Yoshi's Tropical Island, it's still presented so beautifully, and you've got the Yoshis like sitting in the peel of the cantaloupe and all of that. It's all really great. So I think that art direction does.
There's a little Galumba on Woody's Woods that bounces an apple on his head. I love that guy.
And I think the stickers, which are, some of them are reused assets from like 3D World and such, but the hand-drawn like what's are so fun. Now the Yoshi one where he's getting fucked, we can, it's an emote in our Discord if that incentivizes you, but they are really fun to look at. There's a lot of love that went to this game visually for sure. 100%.
And I think that what you're saying about the stickers also applies to what I think this game also, its third element that I think it's really strong at, which is customizability. Is yes, those stickers are locked behind a quote unquote paywall. They are unlockables for coins that you.
We should note not paywall in the sense of real world money.
Yes, I know. That's why I did quote unquote.
Yeah.
But they do offer a lot of. You get to choose which stickers you want in your little collection that you can send. And if you've got the ones that you're known for, you can spam those over and over again. But that customizability extends to setting up a game. You can choose how many turns you want. You can choose which kind of mini games you want. You can choose all these different aspects that allow you to tailor make the Mario Party experience to fit your time scale, which kind of games you want to play, all of that. I think that is a really strong aspect of the game.
I mean, I think it's good, but I don't understand why we can't have more granular control. Why can't we turn on and off particular mini games like items in Smash Bros?
Oh, true, yeah.
Why do I have to play 10 turns, 15 turns, 20 turns? Why can't I play 12 turns? Ultimately,
you're making great. You're making great points.
Why? Or why can't I choose to just skip the AI's turns?
Mm-hmm.
It already skipped some of their animations and such, but
they speed up, I believe. When an AI is moving, it's going at like 3 times speed or something.
Sure, it's there on a cursory level, but I think that there's room for so much more. If you want to talk about replayability, what if you could change the actual spaces on the board? What if you wanted to have a Bowser space where there's a Lucky space or something? I think that for a local multiplayer game, options are everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why something like Smash Brothers is so fun, right? Because you have complete
so many fucking
control
options
over everything.
Yeah.
And here, I just think it's cursory.
No, that's definitely true, and I think as someone who's not into Mario Party, I know from the research that I've done that I think this is the best there's been options in the series. But that's not saying much, because you're right, when you're comparing it to Mario Kart and Smash and these other Nintendo first party games that have these long histories to them and they've been growing and growing and growing, this does not have that granular options. You're right. Why can't I choose what mini games to do? That is a menu with a checkbox on each one, and you're like, yes or no. That's it. It's really not that hard.
Yes, I agree. But Tucker, what I want to do is I want to interrogate the core gameplay now.
All right. It's on trial. The trial of Mario Party Superstar.
Yes.
This is the name of this video.
Here's the thing. I think a lot of these criticisms are now going to start to speak to the larger Mario Party series.
Okay, I'm gonna be Mario Party.
Sure. What I was sold on here was the premise that we were returning to when Mario Party was good.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I do not see, because I grew up in the fucked up Mario Party timeline, apparently, the ND Cube era, and I have played surprisingly, I think almost all of the ND Cube ones. I don't know why, but I've accumulated them over time.
Well, they did 3 3DS ones, a Wii one and a Wii U one, and then 2 on Switch. Correct?
Yes. I think that's all of them.
I'm just testing my Mario Party Nintendo knowledge.
Sure.
But oh babe, I can name all the ND Cube Mario Party games.
And I've played very little of the Hudson ones.
Sure.
I've played Mario Party 7, and I want to talk about the GameCube ones from a content perspective and all that in a second. But this, I just don't think on a mechanical level is that far removed from what ND Cube is already making. And not even talking about Super Mario Party, I'm just talking about all of them, because what I thought I was returning to was a skill-based Mario Party experience, or an experience that at least brought skill and random chance into conversation more, the way a Mario Kart does or something.
Sure.
But at least in Superstars, and I know people have issues with like the lucky spaces and the distribution of coins, so this might not be the purest way to look back on that style of Mario Party. But in the context of Superstars, coming into it having not played those N64 ones, this is still a completely luck-driven experience. Completely. Yes. And that is fun in a multiplayer setting, as I want to talk about. But if I'm talking about just my experience playing online with random people, I'm on my phone for 80% of the game. Because when you don't have that local camaraderie to kind of bolster the experience, which in that case, it is really fun. But when I'm just playing myself against random people online, I don't give a fuck about what's happening, because the skill floor is really low, which I think is great for playing Mario Party with anybody.
Yes.
But the skill ceiling is really low too.
Sure.
Because you have no control over movement. There are no systems like the orbs in the GameCube games to let you influence the board. Winning mini games does not matter at all outside of the context of maybe a bonus star, because the coin output is equal to or lesser than landing on lucky spaces or getting the coin redistribution events or whatever.
Yeah.
Nothing you do mechanically in this game matters at all. And I do not think that outside of the context of using a custom dice block or choosing the right predicting where the star is going to move, choose the right fork on the board path, that's
really the only control you have. Yeah.
I don't think that you have any agency over the experience. And so I just do not think that is very fun.
I think that's also why as I said, I'm sort of realizing why I never got into Mario Party, never really had much interest in it, is I don't drive myself after hard games. I'm not really a skill-based player guy. I'm not very competitive, to be 100% honest. But this takes that in such an opposite direction that I really feel myself just sitting there like, what's the point? I'm not a board game fan either. I'm just putting that out there. Like I've been aggressively against playing board games for most of my life. Like my friends are like, hey, let's play a board game. I'm like, I would rather just sit there and stare at you guys than play a board game. And that probably extends a little bit to Mario Party. And that format I think does work better because it's a shiny game on the screen that I can play with my hands and the controller.
Of course.
But I don't really like the luck-based element of Mario Party and how heavily that influences the entire gameplay experience. Because you'll play a 15-turn game and that'll be 90 minutes of your life, an hour to 90 minutes. I think they underestimate how long a Mario Party game takes because
they completely undershoot it.
Yeah, on the thing, it's like 10 turns is like 30 minutes. 15 turns is 45 minutes. So I'm like,
no.
You have not played this game then. Because if you have 4 people in a room and everyone's like, messing with one another, that's 90 plus minutes. But yeah, I found myself doing that same thing of just like, I feel like I've seen this mini game before. Some of them are kind of similar. Like I get it on the first blush. Like maybe I'm just not really into that sort of bite-sized format being placed into the board game format, which I'm already not a huge fan of. But while I was having enough fun with this, playing with friends and sort of using it as an experience to connect with other people, the video game gameplay experience of Mario Party just is not particularly compelling to me personally.
No, I agree. And so I do want to hammer home that with friends, this is fun.
Yes.
The fact that the fact that you literally do not know who is going to win until the last bonus star is given out is fun. Whether you're on a Discord call playing online as I do with a bunch of people from our Discord server, we had a fucking 2-hour 20-turn marathon. By the way.
Wow. Wish I was in on that.
Yeah, that was so much fun because if you get fucked over, they get fucked over. You're just laughing. You're having a good time, and in that context, this gameplay experience works.
Yeah.
I just was playing this with my girlfriend online. We were having a ton of fun just experiencing the events together, the ways that a CPU stole Jean's star and then she got mad and then I was laughing, and that is fun. It has no semblance on your skill as a player, which is where I take issue with personally. But in a multiplayer setting, that is good fun. But I agree with you for my tastes.
Yeah.
But I do think that for me personally, I can excuse shallow gameplay if that comes to service variety. So I think about WarioWare.
No, that's a very good point. I think I neglected to mention that, but I would be really lenient on this game if I did feel like there was a ton for me to experience, and especially in 2021, in a game that is made entirely of reconstituted content. I really think this game should have 15 boards of old game boards. It should have 150 mini games. It should have side content representing the entire series. It should have, a little museum for you to go through or something like that. Like there really needs to be a more broad respect of Mario Party being such a huge franchise, that this being the celebration of, and it being such a small sliver of that. Like I'm pretty sure if you go into the encyclopedia or whatever, you can buy
Camex store.
The worst collectible I've ever seen in my life is buying a encyclopedia page of Mario, and it's like, Mario is a guy who wears red shorts, wahoo, and you paid 300 coins for that, and it's like, what the fuck is the point of this? But you go in there and no mention of the handheld games, no mention of Super Mario Party even. Like there's such a narrow view of what Mario Party is as a series that I find this really underwhelming just from that content perspective.
No, I agree, because when I look at things like, probably the cleanest example I could give beyond WarioWare would be like Wii Sports Resort. Those games have a very low skill floor and a very low skill ceiling. But there are so many different games to play. There's so many different aspects of that experience to engage with. And what made, from my research and from my time playing Mario Party 7, what made those games, those GameCube games, so great is that there were a ton of side modes and interesting gimmicks. They were also persistent elements that made the actual core Mario Party game more engaging. So a day and night cycle. I know that Horrorland has that, but persistent across the entire game, there was that. The orb systems, things like this, more various types of spaces like Donkey Kong spaces on the boards and everything. But beyond that, there were so many different types of side modes to engage with, which recontextualized the basic Mario Party experience. And because of that, I think it becomes easier to ignore the fact that Mario Party is what Mario Party is, right? It's so simple. But if it's a simple Mario Party experience that I can have a dozen ways, well, then I'm going to have fun exploring those dozen avenues.
Yeah.
But here there's two avenues. There is Mario Party and there is Map Minigames. And Map Minigames is just minigames.
Mario Party.
And what we learned from Mario Party Top 100 is that Mario Party Minigames, without the Mario Party boards, does not hold up, right?
Yeah.
So you really
that's the thing that everyone complained about that game for, because this is that game in an actual Mario Party format. Like the amount of reused, we already did this content is like kind of mind shattering. But I think another problem that I also have with this game, and as someone who's looking back on Mario Party through this lens, but also thinking about what it could be, is that I feel like taking it back to the basics of mostly the N64 games, another big chunk being the GameCube games, and then a smattering of 8, 9, and 10 is this game feels really flat because it doesn't utilize any of the special gimmicks of the Nintendo Switch. Now, people complained a lot with Super Mario Party using a lot of motion controls, having used only one Joy-Con controller, but I think there's a balance there that would have allowed them to make this feel a little more modern. When you're just doing everything with button controls because it needs to fit the Switch Lite, it needs to fit these, it feels like they're missing an avenue. I think that there should have been, they have the N64 games, the GameCube games. Why isn't there a section of, some games from Super, some games from 9 and 10 that did utilize more heavier mechanics, or gimmicks? I really do think that there should have been that wider variety, even if it did come with some things that some people would complain about, like motion controls, whatever. I think there is a creativity and variety there that is lacking when you say, no, these all have to be in this certain way.
I mean, I think this is a larger issue with the Switch ecosystem. Nintendo, clearly we are in the minority of wanting these features, for as much as I love when something like a Labo or a Ring Fit or a Super Mario Party experiments with the Joy-Con and everything. Clearly we're in the minority. The existence of the Switch Lite, the fact that people are constantly railing against this stuff proves that, right? But I do think that I agree with you. There's something missing, and there's nothing wrong with these optional modes, these optional mini games. But optional is just not here. There's nothing optional to engage with. It's play Mario Party or turn the game off. Yeah. And I get why that is fun for a subsect of people, but this is, I don't think, a return to form, but just the form being put in front of you. Yeah,
especially because this game is, it has more content than Mario Party 1, 2, and 3, but when you look at, has basically the same number of characters, basically the same number of boards, like this doesn't feel like another step in the Mario Party series. It just feels like the step that the Mario Party series already took. Yeah. And one other thing that I just want to mention, because I had a lot of problems with this, and it's something I haven't heard anyone else mention, is I really don't like the way that the menus are formatted in this game.
Sure.
You open up the game, it gives you, Mario Party Superstars, whatever logo, and then it asks you to press L and R to go into the game. And then you choose offline, local, or online. Okay, that makes sense. That's fine. And then you go into the island, whatever, that is a recreation of the Mario Party 1 menu. But if you press B on that, or no, hold on, I missed a step. You choose offline, local, or online, and then you watch the intro. You watch the intro video. And then you go to the island, whatever, you choose your thing, which is also weirdly formatted because like your stick, you don't press it in the direction you want to. It's like up to go to the thing, whatever. If you press B, you go back to the first layer. And then you press L and R, and then you choose offline, online. Then you have to chat through the intro again. There's so many, why is this not an option within the board, or the island or whatever? The menu just does not work on an easy to understand level that I found myself fiddling with it and accidentally hitting things I didn't want to way more than I should have been.
No, I agree. The menus are not very good. Yeah. Again, it's about servicing nostalgia opposed to servicing good UI design. And it's kind of just an indictment of the game itself.
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot more to say.
No.
I guess the only thing I would say is that the game is fun. It is fun. my girlfriend and I are having a great time. We're going to keep playing this. I'm going to play with my sister when I go home. But I just think that the game itself does not meet that fun factor, even in the middle. The fun factor, the local multiplayer camaraderie, the experience carries the game.
Yeah.
But for Mario Party Superstars, that's not good enough. And so I really hope that Super Mario Party 2, which is going to come, I hope that is a much more robust package than this is.
And for me, this game really just makes me want to try the weirder Mario parties. It makes me want to try out 8, 9, and 10, see why people were complaining those, see if I share those same kinds of complaints, see where they did try to do a little more experimenting. I actually do want to go back and try Super a little more to see those side modes and see how different it is from this in terms of balancing, in terms of if I feel the gimmicky minigames are a little too prevalent, whatever. I want to try the GameCube era ones because I know those did have a lot more side content and more complex boards. This does get me interested in Mario Party, but kind of because I want to see what I'm missing from this. Sure. People are saying, hey, this is the return to Mario Party. This is the best Mario Party has been in years. And I don't doubt that they believe that. But as a newcomer to the series and playing this game that is content light, is bare bones, does feel like, man, this could have been made, 15 years ago. I mean, there was solid online multiplayer 15 years ago if you were using a fucking Xbox. But it makes me want to try the other games, which is more an indictment on this game lacking than anything else.
I agree.
Fucking Mario Party.
Do it again. I'll react this time.
It reacts. Gargling edition. Abram reacts, sharding edition.
Do you want to know a fast Abram and Martin fact?
Abram reacts, orgasm edition. What?
Do you want a fast Abram and Martin fact?
Yeah.
So we have been bitching about how this room is frigid, like frigid. And we thought it's because there's a gap in the window, and there is. So I took socks, filled the gap with socks, and then masking taped over it to stop the draft. But it was still fucking frigid in here. And so what we learned yesterday afternoon, and keep in mind, we've been like wearing jackets in this room sometimes for probably since the beginning of October.
There's a thermostat you didn't know about.
Yes, it's been on the wall next to Martin's TV this entire time.
Is it behind something?
No.
Does it not look like a thermostat?
It looks like a thermostat.
So it's not like hidden?
No.
Huh.
So we turned the heat on yesterday.
Yeah.
It's been a lot more pleasant.